Welcome in. I'm Kenani Stevens, Mike Frisch from Locked On Angels. The trade deadline a couple days away, but the Angels are already making moves. They're trying their best to up that small percentage of making the playoffs by, adding a little bit here and there. What were your thoughts immediately? I'm sure you're happy that they're making some moves and hopefully more to come.
Yeah, after this weekend against the Blue Jays, the Angels just had one hit with runners in scoring position in 30 plus at bats. And so getting two guys like CJ Crone and Randall Grichuk are awesome. Like, because we need people that can actually hit. And both of them have been really successful with runners in scoring position. Plus, we lost Taylor Ward, it looks like, for the year because he got hit in the face, is going to be on the 60-day IL. And so we needed at bats. We needed people that could come in and really make this team get to the playoffs, because that's really the goal. That's what we want.
And these guys are, they're familiar with the system, obviously, because they've been in the Angels before, and kind of just adding those piecemeal, not necessarily people right off the bat that you're like, oh, I know that, but like just adding addition at this point until the deadline is just adding those extra bodies that you need at this point. Does it feel that way?
Yeah, it actually does. A lot of depth, because we had it at the beginning of the year, but the injury bug has really gotten us. We have a completely different roster. 17 of our guys are on the DL right now, and 8 of them that were on our opening day roster are on the IL. And so this team has really struggled with injuries. So to add depth is incredible. And to get guys that have actually been on the team and know the system is incredible as well. We should have kept CJ Crone, but the Albert Pujols effect made that the Angels trade him away a few years ago. And then we traded Grichuk to get a couple of pieces to make a playoff run back in the 2017 season. And so to be able to have them back and to be able to cheer for them again is really exciting for Angel fans.
The last coming weeks, people were like, oh, is Shohei going to be dealt? That's not happening anymore. They're going to do their best to build around him. What needs to be done to, make a splash, make a run here, and try to do their best to keep him?
I think what they've done so far has really helped communicate to Shohei that they are serious about making the playoffs this year. And I think when it comes to the offseason and when it comes to next year, I really think that they've communicated to him with these moves that they're not just going to sit back and be settled with the team that they have. And I think that they're actually going to go and push the limits, and they're actually over the luxury tax, which is the first time that Artie's done that since 2004. So I think that that has all been what has been communicated. They're checking the boxes, so to speak, to Shohei Ohtani. And I don't think that it's going to be a money issue. I think it's really just going to boil down to if he wants to be here or if he doesn't want to be here.
Is there anything else in your mind that, might be done in the next day and a half or so that you think could kind of put things over the edge for you?
I think the Angels need to continue to see what's out there. I think they need to get all the hitters that they can. There was a rumor about Jaime Candelario coming over from the Nationals. They were actually in talks, at least behind the scenes, rumors about that. I think they need to continue to add offense to this team, because what they did this last weekend against the Blue Jays is unacceptable. They have to get hits with runners in scoring position, and they can't keep relying on their what we call quad A players, those players that should be in AAA but are on the major league roster, but they're not major league players. And what we saw last year with the Angels is they gave away too many at bats to those types of players. They can't continue to have guys like Andrew Velasquez up in big moments. They need to be able to rely on a better bat and somebody who knows what they're doing at the plate if they're going to continue to push to the playoffs and if they're going to go deep in the playoffs. Because honestly, this isn't just about getting there. This is about getting there and actually doing something. Because the last time they were there, they got swept out of the playoffs by the Kansas City Royals. And that was awful to watch, because we wanted to see Mike Trout in the World Series. We wanted to see Albert Pujols there. And to not be able to get far in the playoffs is just unacceptable.